Okay, so we got to talk about Stephen A. Smith, Molly Qerim, ESPN. Her new replacement was just officially announced. And I also want to highlight a clip from Mad Dog Russo. He accidentally exposed Stephen A. Smith, which he probably didn't even realize that he did. But I'm putting two and two together because, I did videos covering how Molly Qerim's departure from ESPN was messy and how Stephen A. Smith threw her under the bus in his response, pretty much defending the bosses at ESPN and calling out Molly Qerim by using certain words, saying that it was abrupt and, basically he didn't know and they was kind of blindsided by this decision and they didn't want to lose Molly Qerim, right? So, he's pretty much throwing her under the bus, which is why when she had made her response, as you can see right here, guys, she even said like, yo, I didn't like the way that the news came out. It's unfortunate that she didn't get to leave on her terms. And it's unfortunate how it went down and how they put her business out there. And then Marcellus Wiley had pointed out, you would think that in her response to leaving ESPN or her departure or whatever, you would think that, it would be a thank you post like, hey, thank you, Stephen A. Smith or whatever, right? But that was not the case. And so it's just like something is definitely off here. And remember, I've been doing videos pointing out how, Stephen A. Smith and Molly Qerim, there's definitely some tension between those two. And people kept trying to say that I was kind of overreacting with my videos. But as we can see, look at where we at now. So let's break this thing down, man. So I'm not going to hold you too long at Molly Qerim's replacement. As you guys can see right here, it was announced. This is her replacement. And I just saw this post on Twitter from NBA Central's account. It says Shae Cornette will replace Molly Qerim as a new host of ESPN First Take. So that right there is Molly Qerim's official replacement, guys. So I would like for you guys to get in the comment section down below. How do you guys feel about that? So let's rewind a little bit, guys. So remember when Stephen A. Smith had came out and talked about Molly Qerim's departure and he was throwing her under the bus and he was using words like, oh, her abrupt exit and stuff like that. Come to find out when Mad Dog Russo had talked about how he found out how, she wasn't going to be at ESPN anymore. He said he found out from Stephen A. Smith before the news even broke. So let me show you guys what Stephen A. Smith said on his podcast first, and then I'm going to follow up with the Mad Dog Russo clip. So let's check out what Stephen A. Smith said.
Miss Molly Qerim, longtime host for ESPN's First Take, my day job, where she has been the last 10 years. Last night, she abruptly resigned as the host of the show. And to say that I'm quite sad about it is an understatement. Molly is a coworker. Molly is somebody that I have leaned on many occasions in the past, as she has done when it comes to me. We've been partners on the show for the last 10 years. And a lot of times some of these things happen and it's just uncomfortable to see. The details, quite frankly, are none of y'all business. But it's not as if I know all the details. It was a contract negotiation that was going on. ESPN certainly did not want to lose her, but in the end, she made a decision. That story is for her to tell. Do I have an idea? Of course I do. Am I going to share it with you? No. Because again, that's her story to tell.
So yeah, man, like I said, guys, we can see in that clip, he's throwing her under the bus. And you just got to put two and two together. And like I said, how Marcellus Wiley pointed out when Molly Qerim had made her post talking about it, she didn't even thank or tag Stephen A. Smith in a post or anything like that. So definitely something's going on there, right? Which brings us to Mad Dog Russo. The reason why I'm putting this clip together because Russo was like, yo, I found out before the news broke, Stephen A. Smith had called me and said that she didn't sign her deal with ESPN. So basically, Stephen A. Smith came on his podcast lying to his audience like he just didn't know, and it was just abrupt, trying to make it seem like Molly Qerim is just bogus for not taking a deal and how she just abruptly left ESPN. Like, he really threw her under the bus, bro. That's supposed to be your partner. This is supposed to be the person that you want to see get paid, right? Like, this is somebody who's been your co-host that's been working alongside you for a decade, and he always bragging about how he get people paid and all this stuff, and the people that's there is because of him. So, you would think he would vouch for Molly Qerim, right? This is somebody he's been working alongside for a decade. And yeah, you tell ESPN, y'all make sure y'all give her what she wants. She deserves this, but that's not the case, right? So let's check out what Mad Dog Russo said in this clip right here. And if you can, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really does help support my YouTube channel, and I really do appreciate that.
Series here for a minute, and then I'll ask you some. I should have done this at the top, but I softened you up. But give me, how shocked were you that Molly left first?
Yeah, very surprised. Very surprised. I don't know. Stephen A. called me on the night before to tell me that Molly was going to leave. I did not speak to Molly prior. I've had one conversation with her since. She was on there a long time. I think they probably wanted to move around a little bit and try a little something different. Not that the ratings are bad. It's just, the nature of the beast. You're on there forever. They like to make a change. They're making a change sake. I think they wanted to keep Molly with the network. And I don't know if Molly wanted to do that because I think Molly probably looked at it as, well, if I'm not going to do First Take, I don't want to do Sports Center. So she probably didn't want to, felt that would be a demotion, I would assume. I don't think that, I know I don't know when her contract was up, but I don't think that was going to be an immediate decision about removing her, by October 1st, say. So I think she precipitated it. I guess it was in the Sports Business Journal. Is that what it was when it first leaked? Is that what
it got leaked to Sports Business Journal that she would be leaving at the end of the year,
right?
And then 2 hours later, she was gone.
Right. I think probably she felt embarrassed. I didn't talk to her about the specifics of why she decided as soon as it was in Sports Business Journal, but that's what I'm thinking. That she probably would have felt embarrassed if the world would have thought that she's a lame duck and she's still doing the show. So I think that probably had a little something to do with it. Molly was great to me. We had a great relationship. She got a kick out of me for whatever the reason. She was a very important ingredient to what they were trying to do. Her and Steve had a good relationship. I would say big brother sister would be the way I would pinpoint it. They knew each other well, and she listened to Stevie. When Stevie gave her advice, she always listened to him. She spoke to him a lot. I think it was a big brother, little sister deal. But I was surprised. I did not know that was occurring. I was shocked. They took her over. I went to work on Wednesday. They had scrubbed her off all the promos and the Mad About stuff when she's out there when they do that little promo. She was off. It tells you the quickness of television. If you're gone, they get you out in 10 minutes. Yeah, sometimes just leave be with what is going on. Show up and do the job every day. And that's what I would have thought that Molly would have done. A lot can happen between September 20th and at the end of the year. You know that better than anybody. A lot can happen. So why precipitate a decision when you don't have to precipitate a decision?
Like you said, once it leaked.
Once it leaked, I think she felt embarrassed. And I think that's probably why she left. I mean,
how has it been for you doing the show without her?
It's different. Yes, it's more. It's different. We've had Peter most of the time, Peter Schrager, as the host. And he plays a little bit more of a role of host and editorializer at the same time. So it's a little different. And I think Molly, Molly was beloved. A lot of people love Molly. So I don't know if the ratings have indicated that. I don't pay attention to it too much. But if you're asking me, was I shocked? I was shocked. Yes, I was. I certainly was.
All right.
So yeah, man, that's Mad Dog Russo saying that Stephen A. Smith called him talking about Molly Qerim's situation. And yeah, man, that's the opposite of what Stephen A. Smith had said on his podcast. He was making it seem like he didn't know anything, not his business to tell. So he's just sitting here, kind of was like blindsided how Molly Qerim left, and he was just so saddened by the news. But we know that's not the case, man, because at the end of the day, if he wanted Molly Qerim to be there, she would have been there, man. But we know there's something definitely going on behind the scenes between them two. And yeah, man, like I've been pointing out in other videos on my YouTube channel, guys. So that's it for today's video, guys. I would love for you guys to get in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts about today's video. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. Catch you guys on the next one, and we out, guys. Peace.